look at a person profile and all that stuff. Facebook is probably the biggest online dating site there is on the low.
And it's not even really marketed as a dating site. But yeah, it's interesting because I think it's changed a lot in the way we interact with people, especially someone who, even if you want a site to extend your network of friends, or if you on the site to
sow your oats.
Yeah, to find a partner and things like that. It's just really, really changed. It used to be a time where if you wanted to meet someone, you had to actually spend time with them to get to know them before the initial contact. You know what I'm saying? When I say initial contact, like maybe you might be interested in a young woman. You might want to take the young woman out. You would have already met her prior to you going out on your first outing with this young woman. The courtship process. You
Got
know
to
what I
have
mean?
some game.
Yeah, you would have to definitely have some, some social interaction skills when you meeting somebody new. You would have your approach. It would. For me,
depend on the female, yo.
It
depend on the female, because every generation had those. Now they call them thotties, but every generation had those dummies where it don't take too much but some Wild Irish Rose, a blunt, and that's it. There ain't too much conversation after that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you had that aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that I think is still relevant today, like when people you met that one. If you met that one that all you needed was Wild Irish Rose and not much to seal the deal, if you will.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Then that was something that was kind of a common occurrence, but at the same time, when looking at it, like, is that what we really was looking for in terms of substance? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you have situations like that.
What you mean by that? Are you talking about us back in the day when we was 19, 18 years old, or us now?
I mean, really both. Really both.
Big difference.
Yeah, it is a big difference. Like, people grow, you know what I'm saying? As they get older and things like that. And so some people don't, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to mention really is, like, when people are looking for potential life partners, because looking for life partners is
that's different.
It's a stage of human development. Like, everybody needs somebody. You know what I'm saying? You might be a loner, or prefer to be by yourself at times, but human interaction is a basic human need. You know what I mean? And so when you're thinking about identifying those long-term relationships, or those long-term friendships, or a long-term partnership with somebody, you would think that substance to be something that you're looking for. And when I say substance, I mean more than just like a physical attraction. Even though
good time.
Even though physical attraction is important, and initially it's a factor, but like when you want to have something with longevity, you got to kind of have that understanding with them. You got to kind of have that mindset, whereas though you can build with them on a not only intellectual but emotional level as well. You know what I mean? And with the advent of like all these technologies and things like that, I think this newer generation, or this younger generation, is kind of missing out on that key step towards developing relationships. Like, right now you can left swipe or right swipe somebody, you know what I'm saying, and decide whether or not, you into them, or if you're not into them, and you really don't know nothing about the person, you know what I'm saying? In a way that speaks to kind of like
that if you don't get catfish.
Yeah, and catfishing is another thing. Most people are familiar with what catfishing is, but catfishing is basically when someone has an online profile, it may be a dating profile or a social media profile, and they have a representation of themselves that's not their authentic selves. You know what I mean? And so
angles key angles.
Right, angles. Right. Angles.
Not full picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Dark rooms.
Right.
So you don't see the full.
And you be surprised how often time that leads to a conflict, that leads to a situation, like a real situation. You know what I'm saying? When you pull up on something and you think that it's one thing and it's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? It might be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? You'll be surprised, but that kind of speaks to how
almost
we
like
interact
blind
with each other,
dates.
how it's
Almost.
changed.
Yeah, back in the day, the catfish was the blind date.
Right, but at least
Oh, that was-
you knew it was a blind date, though.
Yeah, the catfish was the story of she has a great personality.
Right.
That was the catfish statement.
So you kind of knew it was a blind date when you walked into it, that you never really seen this person. You know what I'm saying?
I share a funny Tommy Hollow story. Back in the day, he was talking to this shorty, and she had a beautiful voice, you feel what I'm saying? Like most females do, you know. And back in the day when you blind date something, that's the first red flag. Because the girl with the good looking, the girl with the beautiful sounding voice, she could be fat, out of shape, totally different from what your mind is projecting that she is. And then you done fell in love with the voice and the conversation, which is a good thing. And she pans out to look like who
She
her
sound like,
mind is and what she sound like.
but you imagine certain things too as well.
Yeah,
you
it could disappoint you. And long story short, when he went over to the girl house, I guess that's the detail she left out. She was, from what was told to me from him and the witness that went over there, she was pretty, had a good personality, but she was paralyzed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she was like, I gotta use the bathroom. So Hollow like, all right, this your house, going upstairs, use the bathroom. She's like, I need somebody to carry me. And Hollow like, huh? So Hollow picked her up,
Took it to the
carried her
back.
to the bathroom.
I think I remember that.
While she was smoking the L like this. Then carried upstairs. The
Interesting.
point I'm trying to make is that she didn't tell him that.
Right.
Out of fear that he would have
He
backed
would've,
off.
Yeah. He would have
You
had
know?
some stigma and things
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? And sometimes a situation like that happens, and you can get past it, and other times you can't. It's just different now.
But you don't know what you're getting online. Because
Right.
the first thing online, and a lot of things, let's use Facebook for instance. Everybody's doing well. Somebody can take a picture in front of their employee or employer car and say, oh, look, this new Benz truck I just bought, God is really blessing me.
Right.
That's to make themselves look good. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's not really them.
Right.
Or they can pose in front of a house or some type of swimming pool that their company had a party, a company gathering, and said, God just blessed me with a new 7 house with an indoor pool. Line their teeth for them. The first thing a man gonna say, oh, this woman, she got it going on. She really doing something for herself. Let me click on.
Right.
And start having a conversation.
Right.
And her insecurity is the reason why she done that, just to gravitate to get the opposite sex.
Right.
So she gonna play on that.
Absolutely.
So the social media to me is more tricky now because people are basing their relationship on lies, yo.
Absolutely, and it's hard to deal with that kind of type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the message, you know what I'm saying, is to be authentically yourself. You know what I mean? Be the same person that you are in real life online. You know what I mean?
People respect that because there's always gonna be people out here for some. It's always gonna be somebody for somebody.
Absolutely.
You understand? Like if you like to, you're a person that's a geek that like to go to the library on the weekends, and that's your movie night. There's going to be somebody out there that like that,
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's probably a sign that we
We're going over time.
Yeah. But I want to make a quick statement real quick. I think we read this a while back, man. Now that I'm looking at this, it's from the Consensus Bureau. A higher percentage of black children living with single mothers. And like you said, the first process of building a community is building a family. So the mother and the father plays a very important role in the child's life.
True.
And they carry on those ethics from both parents, and if they're good morals and ethics, that builds a community that's flourishing. And if it's the opposite, it can break your community down. It says that, it's found that the majority of the 73.7 million American children under the age of 18 live in with their families, with 2% to 69%, as a decrease from 88% from 1960.
That's
Of
people
those
living
from
with single parents?
50.7 million children live in families with two parents. 47.7 million live with two married parents. So that means that although they live with two parents, doesn't not necessarily mean that they're married. Okay? And 3 million live with two unmarried parents. 3 million live with two unmarried parents. And this is where it breaks it down to race and how things are very important. And this ties into like the jail system, the percentage of black males in jail, because you can't have you can't be a collective whole if you're in prison.
Are the numbers higher for?
I'm about to break it down.
For
I'm about to break it
single
down.
parents or 2-parent families.
The number is high for single parents, but I'm about to break it down. Really?
Your phone randomly rings.
However, it says, hold on. However, the statistics show stark differences. The percentage of white children under 18 who lives with both parents almost double that of black children.
And so you say that to say what?
When we talking about dating, relationships, long-term, healthy household, moral household, leads healthy community.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? That's very important. So if white families are double the percentage of black children living in a home
With 2 parents.
with 2 parents and 2 married parents.
Vibration. You gotta put your phone on vibration.
Yeah, you're right.
So if it's double for white families as compared to black families, in terms of having both parents at home, that does impact the development of the child and stability of the family.
Yeah, according
And-
to data. Listen, real quick.
Yeah.
According to data, it says 74.3% of all white children below the ages of 18. It's very important. Below the ages of 18.
So
Live with both parents.
Early
And
on in
only
life.
38% of African Americans, minors, you know.
Live with both parents.
That's crazy,
So
yo.
so it definitely is important to understand, it's just, from a social perspective and a family perspective, why that's important. How it ties into all these adverse life experiences and things like that for people as they grow older.
Yeah.
And again, it speaks to the original topic that we were discussing. And I love that segue, because what it does is it shows us that the first interaction or the milestone of the family is the couple, is the
Exactly.
parents. You know what I mean? And if we're living in an age where we have kind of diluted the way that we interact with one another and the way that we respect one another or court one another or even view what a relationship is, what a relationship means, then it's going to have a direct impact on the family. You know what I mean? And so there are traditional ways and there's non-traditional families, and so really the question is which way works better, a traditional family or non-traditional family.
I think
and
traditional
why?
family, just like the fact that when I was coming up, and I'm probably the last of the Mohicans, our generation, where when I lived with my grandmother as a youth, okay, she was married, but by the time I realized the fact that she was divorced,